In this video, I'll show you how to perform read and write operations inside Talent. So for this example, we will have data in a database and also file system. We'll use that as a source and then write the data into Hadoop HDFS. And also we'll have another example wherein we will read from HDFS and process the data and load it to a database. We can use interchangeably a database and also a file system here, which I'll be showing in the hands-on. Alright, so let's get started. So I have this talent job created, just the skeleton of it, wherein I'm creating the HDFS connection. And in order to perform write operation, which we also call it as HDFS output operation, I'll go ahead and use one of the table from MySQL. I'll use that as my DB input, right? So this is going to be my input for this data, and from the palette window I'll use tmap, wherein I'll just introduce some small expression, and as a target I will be using HDFS output, right? This is the HDFS input, and we have similarly HDFS output, right? I'll just bring those to the job design area. So I'll go ahead and connect with the main flow, and inside that we will create another target, right? I created my target table here, right? So this is my input table. A table has got two columns, and on the target side I just created one HDFS target output. I'll just drag and drop those two columns, and I'll have a just a constant date time field. So let's go ahead and use a talent date. I will go ahead and choose get current date, right? So we'll generate the date for the current time, and I'll use this as a date field, and I'll drag it to my target. Right, on my target HDFS, I would like to see all these three columns. Two columns are coming from my source, and I have a custom column. Just to show the demonstration, you can perform several things here. You can even do a lookup from another table or a file, and then have your final target HDFS target created this way. Right, you can do several possible combinations. Even you can have even aggregator, sorter, or do any other joins, and several things you can do. We have seen several examples in my YouTube channel. You can go ahead and check those videos. So for now I'm good with this. I'll go ahead and save the job, and as you see, I would want the data to be coming in the same folder, right? The users HDFS and output folder. So for that we will have to configure our target component, right? Again, so we have a connection parameter. You don't have to repeatedly do these configurations, right? We already have a connection from metadata, so we should be leveraging all the existing connections, right? I just use the existing connection, and under the file name we would give /user /HDFS, and we had user HDFS and output /output, right? Under that we will give the file name. We will call it as department.csv, right? And this is going to be a text file. Action is going to be just a create, because this is a brand new file. It's a create, and if you want to overwrite, you can choose this option, or if you have the new data coming in every day, you can even choose the append. So what will happen when you run the job next time? It will be on append mode, right? It'll just, the file will keep on increasing. So this is the best operation to perform if you want to keep the historical records as well, which in most cases everyone does. and we have an option to specify a row separator and a field separator. I'm going to use the comma separator here, and that's all. We'll not worry about the compression. I'll have a separate performance tuning and some of the better videos on advanced topics, so we will talk about that compression, right? So that's all about this HDFS output. All we have to specify is existing connection to HDFS and then provide the full path for the output folder, right? And then choose the action and then the field separator. All right, so that's all. We have this data coming from MySQL and then getting into the final target. Okay, so as you see, there is a warning here. This is because of the date pattern. We remember we have created this date. Let's look at it. Okay, so we will have to actually give the pattern. You can specify a pattern here, or I would just format this date. You have another options, right? You can actually format date and then make it as a string. Right, this is just to do this activity quickly. What I'm gonna do is I'll use the format string, and under that I'll be using current date. So this is going to be a string data type. So string, and my target also I'll just change it to string. But if you still want to keep it as date, you can specify the date pattern, and then your output file will also have data accordingly. See, now the warning is disappeared. So this is how you take care of removing all the warnings. Okay, so now I'll go ahead and run the job. So as I said, we can perform several operations in this flow. All the transformed value you can redirect it to HDFS output. Okay, so you see there are 80 records read and written to the target. Alright, let's go to that folder and check if we have that new file created. Okay, so you have this new file created, right, which is of 2.9. You have an option to download this file, and you can check the records. You can do that too. This way you can check the file content, right? That's all. That's all in this session on the output part, right? So now we have written data as an output. I would like to what I'll do is I'll just deactivate this flow, and I'll create another flow, right? That's where I'll be using HDFS input component. So whatever files I have just written, I want to retrieve that and load it into a another file on my local, right? So we will do that. So for that, let's go ahead and choose that file. You can even specify directly type in here. There's no need to go to this portal and get this file directly, but just for the sake of simplicity and then avoid a manual error, I'm choosing it from browse. You can even parameterize it. You don't have to hard code all the time, right? You have a way to use the context variables or global variables, have this thing parameterized. These are all demonstration purpose, but when we develop the real jobs, we should avoid hard coding and then use some sort of context or some sort of variable through which you pass all these dynamically, right? Okay, so I'm reading this file as a text file, and here I would say my field separator is comma, right? And that's all on this. And let's see if we have the schema or not. Okay, see the schema is not automatically populated, right? So for that we will go ahead and create it. So we had ID department, and then the ID department, and then the date, right? So we had three columns from the source. They're all string. That's all. You can directly call this DB output, right? This is the DB output. Here either you can do this way, or for a quicker access we will just drag and drop. the MySQL and I'll use it as output. Right, so that way all the connection details and everything is automatically populated. Right, so this is one of the good feature. I'll connect it using main, and on the target side I will go ahead and just sync the columns. You see now all the columns are synced. Right, let me expand this. Okay, so here are some of the options. You have even option to use the existing connection if you are creating a connection. Right, you can do a whole lot of things, and for the target table I would call it as department out yeah, from HDFS. This I would like to keep this table name. You can give a proper fancy name if you want. And action on the table. So this table, we don't have this table in our MySQL. So what I will do is I'll go ahead and choose drop table if exist, and then you insert the data. Right, so by doing that what we're doing, it'll automatically drop the table, it'll create the table and then insert the data coming from HDFS. Right, that's all we'll be doing. So remember, we don't really in a real time, we don't bring the HDFS data and then put it on normal MySQL. That's not a use case, but in order to demonstrate this component, I am loading it from HDFS to the database. Right, okay, so let me go ahead and run the job, and also let me launch MySQL Workbench so that we can quickly check the data. Right, so now all those 80 records that we populated right from earlier job, now we have read those 80 records and then populated onto our target table. Okay, so I have my MySQL up and running. I will go ahead and connect. Alright, so I'm going to use this database. This is where we have actually loaded, and let's do a refresh. And you see this department out HDFS, so that is a table that we just loaded. Okay, so let me go ahead and check the data. Alright, so looks like the data is not loaded. We have 0 records. Let's see, let's go back and check if we have any issues with data type or anything. Right, one thing is whenever you use MySQL, we have to define the length. That might be the reason. Let me go ahead and give these values some length, because otherwise MySQL will not treat it as proper data. Let me go ahead and run the job again. Okay, so this time it is completed successfully. I'll go back to MySQL Workbench. Okay, so as you see, all the 80 records are created. That's all for this demonstration. So we have looked at an example wherein we are using database to load the data onto HDFS, and in the next example we have retrieved HDFS file and then load that data into a database. Right, you can perform any aggregation or any sorting or any lookup or anything like that. You can do several possible scenarios here. This is just for the demonstration purpose. I've got several videos on my channel, so if you want to perform any SCD or incremental load or any sort of transformation, I've got videos on my channel. I request you to check those videos and make use of it. Yeah, so with this I would like to thank you all and happy learning.